Could you explain how higher interest rates help to fight inflation? Simplified. Don't worry, Roos 589. I got you. I'm Kalila Reynolds, financial journalist and educator based in Jamaica. So this is how it works, right? When banks are giving out loans left, right, and center, you get a loan, you get a loan, you get a loan, everybody gets a loan, as Oprah would say. There's a lot of money in the economy, and that is because interest rates are low. So if interest rates are low, that gives me an incentive to go and borrow money from the bank in order to take a vacation, buy clothes, buy a car, buy a house, start a business, just buy a lot of stuff, things that you might not even need necessarily because money is cheap. You can get a loan and the repayment terms are favorable. But what the Bank of Jamaica and central banks, many of them around the world right now, including the US Federal Reserve, believe is that by driving interest rates up, that makes the cost of money more expensive. And if the cost of money is more expensive, it is more difficult for all of us to get a loan and spend on, I don't know, foolishness, whatever is available for sale. Now, when fewer people have less money, that in turn is going to reduce demand. So we're not spending like crazy anymore, and that brings demand down. Supply and demand. When demand comes down, what happens? Prices have to fall because now the merchants still have all this stuff to sell, but nobody has any money to buy it, so they have to make their prices cheaper in order to attract us to buy it. So that is the relationship between interest rates and inflation, as explained to me by some smart people with degrees in economics and so on and so forth. So does it actually work? Well, let's take a look at this chart from Statin. So last year, this time, inflation in Jamaica was at 11.8%, April 2022. And as you can see from the chart, it has been consistently coming down to the point that inflation in Jamaica is now at 5.8%, so less than 6%, which is actually where the Bank of Jamaica wants it to be. They want inflation to be between 4 and 6%, so not too low and not too high. And this is the first time that they've achieved this in over a year. And interestingly, while this chart has been coming down, if you look at what the BOJ has been doing with interest rates over the same period of time, those interest rates have been going up in the opposite direction. So I hope that explains the relationship between interest rates and inflation. But I want you to note something else on this chart, and it's over here. So our inflation rate is now 5.8%, but food prices went up by more than 10%. Restaurants and accommodation services went up by almost 17%. So the one thing that we cannot avoid spending on is food. We have to eat, and that is licking us right now in our pocket, 10%. Every time we go to the supermarket, things go up, and we're still experiencing that, even though officially inflation is at 5.8%. And so other things have come down. For example, housing, water, electricity, gas, and other fuels. That has actually gotten cheaper by about 3%. But this is the one that kills us every single week. We go to the supermarket, go to the market, go buy things. 10%. It's still up. It's still high. So I hope this explains it. Click the link in my bio and tap newsletter for money news like this straight to your inbox. Let's get this money.